Hello, my name is Elizabeth Carroll, and I am applying for a part time job tutoring young children in early education, early childhood education in reading for this coming school year. Um, I began my college career at East Carolina University, graduating in early childhood education. And then in 2003, I graduated from Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore with my master's in reading. And that was a marvelous experience because we focused a lot on the brain and how different aspects of the brain, how that affects how different children learn how to read, or different diseases, how it affects their ability to learn how to read. So I really enjoy that. From the year 2000 to 2015, I worked for the Howard County Schools in Ellicott City, Maryland. And that was the last place where I taught. And most of that time I did teach kindergarten. Prior to that, I worked in Florida. I worked in Melbourne, Florida for a Montessori school. I took some of the Montessori training and worked there. I worked in first and second grade and also in second and third grade. Prior to that, I did substitute teaching in Tampa, Florida, in Hillsborough County, and mainly at two schools. And I ended up doing a lot of long-term substitute teaching for when teachers had to be away for a long time for operations and such things as that. Prior to that, I taught in North Carolina. And right after graduating from college, I was very lucky that year to get a job. And so I worked 2 years before I got married and started having children. I love teaching. It's been a goal of mine ever since I was a very young girl. My current situation is that I am retired. I retired in 2015, moved here to Winston-Salem, which is near where I grew up in Eden. And this past fall, my mom passed away at the age of 95. And the main reason I moved here was because of her. I wanted to spend her final years with her and spending as much time as possible with her as we could have together. And last year, of course, was COVID, which was very trying. And so I'm really kind of looking forward to being out and working back in the school system and with young children. And so the only example I can think of a difficult child wasn't so much that he was difficult as that the situation was difficult. I knew right away that he was probably a child who was on the spectrum. He came from a family where he was the only child, and the parents had had him late in life, and they were military. And I ended up utilizing the help of a resource person from the Department of Education there in Howard County. And she came into the classroom and helped me with discussing his situation with parents. They were very skeptical and had a hard time understanding why their lifestyle and the way he was living his life at that time with no friends and only them as mostly the only people that he saw during the day was not appropriate for his age group until our school psychologist could come in and observe him and test him. And then things moved forward pretty quickly after that. And we got the cooperation of the parents. And he received services starting in first grade and had a successful time in elementary school. And once he was in junior high and in high school, his dad would bring him back to the school to see me. And he would always remind me that I was his very first teacher. And he went on to do wonderful things in high school, especially in basketball. So it just took some time. It took a lot of patience. And the resource person from the Department of Ed was just marvelous at helping me explain the situation to the parents. And so now I'm going to begin reading the book by Marcus Pfister. So I will begin that now.